know what you read. And my dad was always the type of person that I knew he would give me an objective view. And I said, Dad, I don't really want to do. He's like, no, I want to know. He's like, you said there was a lot of doctrine. I said, all right. So I think I sent him the link to Mormon Think and the CES letter. And
these ones always kind of make me a little sad. And I've started to recognize a pattern from people who have left or are leaving the church. They often say something along these lines. I was a faithful member for 25 years and was even an elders quorum president or a bishop or relief society president or whatever. And then I found out Joseph Smith translated the Book of Mormon by looking at a stone in a hat. Upon further inquiry, they likely came across the CES letter, an ex-Mormon Reddit thread, or some derivative of the two. Then they spend an inordinate amount of time consuming critical content, and then they come to the conclusion Joseph was not a prophet. What they don't realize is that every critical point has a faithful counterpoint. You need apologetic or defensive material to do this, and these people spend zero time in this apologetic space. They assume that their time in the church should be the defense to the critiques that they're hearing, but that's not how it works. The church is not an apologetics organization. It is a salvific organization focused on helping people make and keep covenants with God. Your time in the church does not prepare you for the critical anti-Mormon material that is out there. You have to spend time in the apologetic space to counter the two. You should spend at least the same amount of time studying apologetics material as you are anti-material. For example, looking at the CES letter, on its face, it seems like it would rock anyone's faith. But when I read the faithful line-by-line response to it from Jim Bennett, I can see how flimsy the critiques are, and sometimes just poorly informed, misleading, and downright deceptive. The point here is that if you're going to spend time studying critiques and anti-Mormon material, then you also need to spend time in the apologetic space looking at the faithful counterpoints to those. There are so many free resources. Here are some of my favorites. The Light and Truth letter, absolutely incredible. A faithful reply to the CES letter by Jim Bennett. If you're going to read the CES letter, at the very least, pick up Jim Bennett's as well, so you can read it side by side. And he actually gives you kind of a line-by-line response all the way throughout, and it just tears those arguments apart. And I'm not saying that there are not valid critiques and there are not valid points of contention and controversy. There certainly are, but most of the ones that are brought up are not. They're purely misleading and deceptive. The Fair Latter-day Saint website is also a really good resource, diving into the, I would say, hardest topics. Unscripted Saints, they have an entire YouTube playlist dedicated to the difficult topics in like 3 to 5 minute videos. And of course, Jacob Hansen on Thoughtful Faith, he's got a YouTube channel there and he is excellent. So if you're going to spend time over here demolishing your faith, you should spend some time over here shielding up for it in the apologetic side as well.